Welcome back to Anchor Down. This is Season 2, Episode 15. I'm Ian Larrabee.
And I'm Carter Collins.
Or, wait, no.
I'm Ian Collins, or Ian Larrabee.
I'm Carter Collins. There we go.
You got it all switched up, man. You started it off for us. Got it just weird today. All right. Starting off with some sports now. We getting kind of back into seasons. We're coming off of Christmas break, winter break. It's finally winter time with all the snow outside.
Yeah, it's coming down out there.
Still, even today, it's snowing again, and it was last night. I'm enjoying it. Went walking in a winter wonderland. But the boys basketball, we can start off with them. They have a game tonight, which is home, right, at Lincoln, versus Moose Lake. And their last game was last week, right, against Deer River. And I'm not totally sure what the score was, but I heard
They lost by 5.
It was 5, yeah, so it was a pretty close game. Decent game, but they're still looking at trying to get those wins on their record, right?
Yeah.
So
see if they can be walking in a winter wonderland after tonight.
Maybe beat Moose Lake. The girls hockey just played Moose Lake last night, actually, and they lost 3-1. It was home, which was closer than the first time they played them this year. And they had the first goal. They scored earlier on, and they kind of had a lead for a little bit. Then it was tied up, and they just got a couple other goals going. But maybe the boys can beat Moose Lake tonight. Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to. The girls basketball, they got another win on their record. They beat Denfeld 59-28.
Dang.
I know.
That is a stomping right there.
Yeah, especially for Denfeld. Everyone wants to see Denfeld just stomped.
Yeah.
Nobody likes
all
Denfeld.
those Duluth teams, to be honest. I just don't really like any of the Duluth teams. Yeah.
They got Grand Rapids tonight.
That's at Grand Rapids, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Tuesday we're playing them. So that's good for them though. Good win like that, give you some confidence going in. I mean, Rapids, I'm sure they're decent. I mean, Rapids is just always solid with most sports. They got a lot of numbers over there. It's kind of weird how it works. Just because they're technically a smaller town than us, like population-wise, but they have all those lakes around them, and then all those smaller towns too, where people just kind of come down to participate in sports there, because if you're going to live there, might as well. But hopefully I can get a win tonight. Boys hockey, they lost to Little Falls. What day was that?
I want to say Saturday. Could have been before that.
Somewhere in there, I'm sure.
Somewhere around
I'm
there.
sure it was sometime then. But they don't have a game this week, right? They're off until next Tuesday. So Tuesday, January 16th, they'll play Hermantown, and that is away, right, at Hermantown.
At Hermantown.
Yeah. And they're around 500 this year, right?
I think they're a
little bit
above.
Yes.
Yeah. 10-6 and 1.
So
10-6-1,
right,
to be exact. So
it's not bad at all.
No,
it's definitely good. And as we've been talking about, they've got a lot of room, a couple years here to really grow. So let's just hope that they can keep going. Because was it last week too? They played Greenway again. They played Greenway at home though, and it was 8-0. 8-0 was the final.
Greenway took 11 total shots.
That's crazy. But that's
that's a stomp.
Show them who's better. Hibbing's better than Greenway. Let's be honest.
Who even goes to Greenway?
Not anyone good at hockey, obviously. But then, so they won that game and lost a Little Falls. So going back and forth, but still got that winning record. Hermantown, solid team, but we'll see how they do. Hoping
that's kind of the big test for them. I feel
right. Hoping they can get a win right there. That'd be a really good game to get a win out of. Early on here. Now, the girls' hockey, they play Rock Ridge tonight, which is in Evelyn, so at Rock Ridge, I guess. I'm not sure. Do they play at the...
I'm not sure where
do they play at the Hippo there, or do they go over to the Iron Trails, the new hockey arena?
I'm not sure.
The place is fancy as heck.
I haven't seen it.
You ever seen that?
I have not.
Yeah, they built the Iron Trail Motors event center. It's right next to where the baseball field was and stuff, or is. And oh man, it is nice as heck in there. They got one of those little TV screens that comes down, from the ceiling. They got like
Mhm.
nice seating and all that. It's pretty nifty. in there.
Their football stadium was nice too.
Yeah, that
Old
new Rock Ridge
yeah.
football stadium. That
Playing
thing's
over there,
ridiculous.
it was pretty.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But I mean, so was ours at this point,
Yeah,
right? We just got a
it
brand new
seems
one. Like, I'll take
everyone's-
it.
Yeah, seems like everyone's getting a new stadium.
Um,
Even Mora pulled a new
Mora's got a whole new school. We were just in Mora this weekend. I gotta look at the actual school more. Man, that is nice. It is really, really nice. And they have like a field house pretty much. So, it's like big, open, massive ceilings, and it has like the track in there, and there's like upstairs like walkways and stuff like that, and then there's just a bunch of room for a wrestling tournament we had. I mean, we had a bunch of mats going. It's nice there, good for them, right? Their old school was decrepit. It was not so good. Anyways, though, the girls hockey, they, like I said, they lost to Moose Lake last night. Tough loss there. And then they
had a tie against Duluth right before that Moose Lake loss.
where was it? When was that one? Do you know?
It would have been about a week before the Moose Lake game. So
Because they played another game last week too. They on Thursday, I think they played Superior.
okay.
Thursday or Friday they played Superior, which was a tough loss there. They
Mhm.
lost like 5-0. I want to say 6-0, somewhere in there. Every time I asked one of the girls about it, they all had different answers to the score. I'm like, one of those games where you kind of just shut it out in your
Mhm.
head. You're like, I don't want to think about it. Fair enough, though.
Yeah. Little wrestling action upcoming here then, sir?
Yeah, so like I said, we had Mora this past Saturday. We were there for a tournament. It was JV, varsity, and girls. It went pretty well overall for us. Big section tournaments. A lot of teams from our section were there. A couple schools smaller, a couple schools bigger, single and AAA schools. But overall, we did pretty good. The JV's doing really well right now. We got a couple girls wrestling. It's been going pretty all right. And then varsity, we got a lot of young kids. We got kids kind of struggling a little bit, but they're working it. Just getting some of those close matches won. It's been going well. And then Thursday, right? It was on Thursday, or no, Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday last week. We had a duel in Grand Rapids. So we wrestled Grand Rapids. We did lose. I don't totally remember what the score was. It was kind of close. It's closer than it has been in the past few years. Rapids is kind of they're kind of falling off right now a little bit, and then we were kind of building up. So it was a good duel overall. And then now this week on Friday we wrestle in Proctor, and it's a try between Proctor and then Rush City Bram. So those are both teams in our section, and they're duels. So it'll be good to get more of those matches going and the wins for like our team. And then Saturday, after that Friday night, we drive down to Elk River Saturday for a tournament in Elk River. So that's a big tournament. That's a good one for all the JV and varsity. So hopefully that goes well for all of us too.
Awesome. And then boys swimming and diving, they are at Rock Ridge tonight for a tournament as well. A lot of sport events tonight.
Yeah.
And kind of loaded up here.
It's just that time, we got that. We're finally off the break, we got back into it a couple weeks here, and just everything's really starting to cook up. College started again up this week for some kids, all that. A lot going on, though. It's exciting, Gives you things to do, too, though. If they're, you're bored, you can go watch no. You can go watch, like, the hockey games. I like watching hockey games, I'm not a hockey player, but being in northern Minnesota, you kind of just have to appreciate hockey. Otherwise, you get long winter with nothing to do if you're not playing or watching hockey. Speaking of winter sports, skiing. They have had, 2 or 3 meets canceled this year due to the weather obviously being just horrendous. But now that we finally have snow, they're able to have some better practices starting up, and meets will be able to kind of function as they should be. And then I believe next week on the 16th and 17th, they're closed.
Yes.
For kind of the Giants Ridge is closed for getting reorganized, the snow kind of better and made up right, and then they'll be back to hopefully full capacity for the rest of the winter year.
We can hope at this point.
Man, it's just been a weird winter, just a strange winter, but I like the snow now.
I do too. Got the snowmobile out ripping a little bit.
Oh,
finally,
really?
Yeah.
I just whipped with my car. I just drive my car through it. Last night I was leaving the girls' hockey game, And you know how like the city plows those piles of snow into the middle of the roads? Well, on the backside of MB, like to get into the right lane, you like there isn't a path through it. You have to like drive up or something.
Yeah.
Well, I was with somebody. We were just like, I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna drive through it. I got stuck. I got a little stuck through those.
Didn't work too well.
No, but just move the pile. Like, you're driving out. It's the exit. Why would you not have a path there? That makes no sense to me.
There's a lot of things that
Whatever.
it's just a little confusing.
Whatever. You know. Okay.
The Timberwolves, they lost last night to the Mavs, and they're 25-10, I believe, and they got the Magic tonight here. So try and get a bounce back win. I think they lost.
Should be a win tonight. I
think they lost 2 straight, 1-1, and then lost. So
yeah, I know last 10 games are 5-5 right
Mm-hmm.
now. Which the Celtics, who are still in the lead in the other conference, they're doing better, but it's all pretty close. The Thunder right now, I think the Thunder's like 24-11 maybe, so they're right behind Minnesota here, but still doing well. I mean, so much time left in the season, and they can kind of keep consistencies and winning games. It'll be all right.
And then Minnesota Wild, they had a rough go last night. With
Rough
the Stars.
loss, yeah.
4-0, and they got them again tomorrow. So
Yeah, I'll see. They are currently 17, 18, and 4. So kind of as it's been all season so far, they're struggling. Losing record overall, but kind of close to that 500 mark as it every game kind of comes and goes. So hopefully they can pick it up a little bit, but they're just struggling this year right now. Just happens, especially if it's a Minnesota team. It just happens.
it does. It just happens.
Unless you are the Professional Women's Hockey League, the Minnesota team. So Professional Women's Hockey League this year, first year ever made, and there's 6 teams, 3 U.S. teams, 3 Canadian teams. But the Minnesota women's team, they are winning right now. They're 2-0 on the season. It just started up here, and I know the other day they played in Minnesota. Was it against Montreal, maybe? I think it might have been. Mm-hmm. They played in Minnesota, and they were at the XL Energy Center, and they broke the record for attendance. So it was over like 13,000 people in attendance for that game. So, of course, them being first year and all that, there's going to be a lot of records being broken, mm-hmm. I'm sure, and set. But I mean, at the X, it's Minnesota. Of course, it's going to be a big thing. Everyone loves hockey around here. But yeah, that's the hockey's going there good for them at least.
Yeah,
not the Wild.
Not the Wild, but hey, it's all right.
Last Minnesota sports team to talk about, the Vikings.
I saw a TikTok that kind of just summed it up. It said that you learn to, when you're a Vikings fan, you learn to just appreciate the constant depressing around this time of year, the heartbreak every year. Yeah. You're either they're gonna just miss the playoffs or they're gonna make it and go out first every single year. So.
Yeah, they lost to the Packers the other week, and that was a tough one because you had losing the Packers, they would have had to have win, but now they went out and lost to Detroit. Packers beat the Bears, of course, because it's Chicago. Chicago is just... And not only that, I saw that Jordan Love this year had more passing yards than any Bears quarterback in their entire franchise history. Mm-hmm. Just this year, and this is his first year as a starter.
Yeah. The Bears are just kind of
poverty.
They're poverty.
That's all.
They're horrible.
I think if Justin Fields would have been in all year, I think they could have done a lot better.
I do too, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with him.
Yeah,
if they have that first overall pick.
Him and DJ Moore kind of started to pick it up at the end of the year. They're getting some points. I mean, 2 weeks ago they had that big game. They got a lot of points scored, but overall they are. Vikings are out. Vikings are done now. I got to look at something with those quarterbacks. Nick Mullins was just
awful.
Just treacherously terrible.
Just horrendous.
Nobody else could have done anything either, I don't reckon. Lions took that win. Packers going to play the Cowboys first round. They're winning. Cowboys... I hate them.
I don't think either of them are making it past second round.
No, definitely not, probably. But, yeah, we'll see. I'm still taking the Ravens and 49ers Super Bowl. That'll be a game. It's going to go different than the first time.
I think the the Rams-Lions game will be pretty good. You know, you got
Yeah.
Matt Stafford headed back to
Yeah.
Detroit, and there's a lot of good games. The
There's
Browns and
going
Texans,
to be, yes,
that'll
the
be a
Browns
good
and
one.
Texans. I want to watch that one.
If you would have told me at the beginning of the year that was going to be a playoff game and we'd all be excited for it,
No way.
I'm excited.
Got Joe
to watch that
Flacco
one.
versus C.J. Stroud, man. Who'd have guessed
Who'd
that,
have guessed?
right? Who'd have guessed Joe Flacco would be the one to be doing it for the Browns? But yeah, other than that, I mean, there's the NFL's kind of coming to the end. And last night, on Monday, was the college football playoffs national championship. Washington versus Michigan, and Michigan kind of stomped Washington.
I don't think Washington was very in it, for sure, after the first quarter, pretty much. It was already kind of slowing down, and then they just kind of pulled away farther and farther. I think it was, 20-13 at half or something?
Yeah, and then Washington had ball after half. Couldn't get it moving. Penix
do
Jr.
anything.
cannot really. He wasn't on it that night.
No, it sounds like he's pretty banged up now, too. A couple rib
He
injuries.
got some big. Yeah, there was a
ankle
couple
injuries.
times where he stood up and he was like, "Ooh, that's hurting." Yeah, well, Michigan comes away. You know, must have been all that sign stealing they did. Really paid off. Really
Had to have
paid
been.
off for them this year.
Pretty crazy that they won with J.J. McCarthy going 10 for 18. That was kind of a
Well,
weird.
they ran the ball. All
Just-
they did was
all
just
they
run
did
the
is
ball.
just
I mean,
run.
those running backs were just crazy good. But yeah, that's about everything for sports. I guess we should probably mention too. So last week it was Kathy Nyberg. She did pass away. It was kind of just a little bit of an unexpected thing. You know, she's relatively a young woman. She was still, and she's really big impact in the community around here. You know, her and her husband have lived here for, you know, what it's been 20, 30 plus years, something like that. And then she was on the school board. And with that, too, like I know she was a big chair on that 100th anniversary committee for the high school this year, as well as her daughters, you know, Mrs. Anderson, teacher at the high school. One daughter married to Mr. Anderson, the Mr. Erickson, the math teacher. And then, you know, Matt Anderson, coach for wrestling, coach for football. Al Gornick, who's married to her other daughter, is football coach. So they're really in the community. I mean, that whole family has been around for a while here, and it's, you know, sad thing to see that happen. And I know it's this Friday that there's going to be the memorial service starting at 10 o'clock, like the visitation, and then noon, so 2 hours afterwards is when like the funeral procession will start and all of that, which is going to be at the Blessed Sacrament Church here in Hibbing. So yeah, I mean, again, this year's kind of been year. It's been filled with a couple deaths now around here, and there's been some other like just tragedies going on that it feels weird. Something's going on, you know. I don't know. It's a strange thing, but kind of just want to say that all of us around the community are, thoughts are with that family and hoping everything can go well. They can get through this time. Yeah, but other than that, that's pretty much everything for us right now going on in Hibbing. Hopefully everyone has a fun winter, safe winter, and just kind of keep on moving forward here. We'll see you next week.
For over 25 years, U.S. Bank, located at 211 East Howard Street in Hibbing, Minnesota, has provided office and studio space for Hibbing Public Access Television. We are thankful for their ongoing support.